Are you looking for a custom mechanical keyboard but you don't have a lot of money? Well, this might be the option. This is the Keychron K6. It's just your standard tray-mounted budget keyboard, and it doesn't really sound that great stock, but you can mod it to sound pretty decent. Now you can do this to pretty much any keyboard, but I chose this board because of these reasons I've stated on the screen right here. But yeah, before modding, I'm just gonna show you how it sounds stock. Now that didn't sound too bad on video, but in real life it's pingy and hollow and the stabilizers are kinda rattly. So I'm gonna mod it and fix that. In the box you get some extra keycaps for Mac and PC, a cable, a switch puller, and a keycaps puller. This keyboard can also be used via Bluetooth. Now it's time for the disassembly. First I'm gonna use the included keycap puller to take all of the keycaps off, like this. And then I'm gonna use the included switch puller to take the switches off. Then I'm gonna lay a few pieces of paper towels on my desk mat so I don't ruin it with all the stuff I'm gonna need to mod the keyboard. Now it's time for the rest of the disassembly. Make sure to remove the cable to the battery so you won't rip it off when trying to open the keyboard. After disassembly, I'm gonna do the band-aid mod, which is placing band-aids right here to make the stabilizers tighter. This works for plate-mounted stabilizers. Next, I'm gonna re-lube the stabilizers. This probably wasn't necessary, but I did it anyways. And then I'm gonna mount them like seen right here. Then I'm gonna cut out some paper towels and do the paper towel mod. This is essentially the P foam mod, but slightly different. It works in the same way as it makes the keyboard more marbly, but not as marbly as P foam. Make sure to cut out the places where the stabilizers would hit the PCB, because otherwise it would make them kind of mushy feeling. And in the end it should look something like this. Next I'm gonna open all the switches with a switch opener or some tweezers and put all the different switch parts into 4 bowls like shown. You only need to do this if you want to loop the switches, which isn't really necessary for this keyboard, but I'm gonna do it to increase the smoothness and give it a better sound. After you loop the switches, just give it a few presses to test that it feels okay, I guess. Then you can get some of the sticky foam, which I'm gonna put on the plate to make it less pingy. And you're gonna cut this out to match the plate, like seen here. And I'm actually needing to cut this down a bit because it was slightly too thick, but it all turned out fine. It definitely did a difference. Now you can just reassemble the plate and PCB like seen, and then you're gonna place in all your switches. Now after that you need to make sure they all work and you didn't get any bent pins, which you probably did. I did personally. And then you're probably gonna have to rebend some pins, and some of them are probably gonna be bent beyond repair. So that's why I got these extra switches you see on the right. I would probably recommend getting 5 extra switches also, just to be safe, so you don't get like a missing switch on your keyboard at the end, because that wouldn't be very nice. Then I'm just gonna flip over my keyboard and put 2 layers of masking tape on the back to give it some more thok. This is called the tape mod and it works very well for thok. For the last mod, I'm gonna get some polyfill and put it inside the case of the keyboard. Make sure it doesn't go over the batteries so you won't cause any fire hazards. And now it's time to close the keyboard. Make sure all the ports on the left side work, align with the ports on the PCB. And you could try O-ring mounting this keyboard, but I didn't because I didn't have some O-rings on hand that could fit this keyboard. And then you just put the keycaps on and it should be done. And it looks exactly the same as before the modding. And now I'm gonna let you hear how it sounds after all the mods. Now the difference may not sound that big on camera, but it is pretty big in real life, and it does sound pretty decent after all the mods. So overall this keyboard turned out pretty nice, but if you had the budget I would recommend getting some better keycaps as these are pretty cheap feeling. But they're fine, I guess, they do the job. And that concludes this video. Thanks for watching, and I guess I'll see you next time. Bye.